Good morning. Today is April 1st.
I got it on your head.
All right, get
I
him
got
out of
it
here.
on your head. I got it.
Today I'm going to switch the order of the announcement to start with the pledge and end with the poem of the day. So please take a moment and, as we do each morning, rise as you are able, remove your hat, and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Now, starting today, we're going to be restarting the Daily Post and introducing the Ponder Remote. So during the school closure, we're working with ACMi to post stories and content about Arlington High School. We call the site Ponder Remote. You can access Ponder Remote and other information on our website at the Daily Post. ACMi and AHS Ponder Remote could use your help. If you're doing anything you think would be worth sharing, contact ACMi's Kevin Wetmore. You can find contact information on the Daily Post. Today, we're also introducing the poem of the day. This was started by Kevin Richardson. For information on how to submit your own poem, also check the Daily Post. And here is today's first poem, read by Kevin Richardson. Thank you and have a great day.
Hi everyone, so this is day one of Poem of the Day, and I decided to do this for several different reasons. One being, it's a great distraction, but also it just helps me to kind of stay in the routine of something that we do every day. In our poetry classes, Liana Bissett does it with her class, and I do it with my two classes. We start every class with a poem. Each student, and the teachers as well, we choose a poem that we like. We come up to the front of the class, we read the poem to the class, and either before or after we explain why we chose the poem, what we liked about the poem, and more times than not, people in the class have responses to the poem or questions about the poem or the poet or something like this. And sometimes, some days, we'll have the poem of the day. The person will read the poem and explain the poem and talk about what they like about it, and people will respond to it, and that'll go on for 10 minutes, sometimes longer, and other days it's shorter. It lasts less than 3 minutes. But it's just a great exercise, a great way to hear a poem, to see a poem, to share a poem, and to just kind of have a way of kind of launching into the class itself. So anyway, I've never done anything like this. I'm not on any social media at all. And to say that I'm nervous about doing this is an incredible understatement, but it feels right at this time. Because I know that a lot of people are looking for something to kind of distract them, and poetry can be a great distraction. Hopefully more than just a distraction, but sometimes it serves lots of different functions in life. For me right now, that's one of them. So we'll just get to the poem. The poet that I chose, his name is Ted Kooser. And this is his book. I don't know if this is going to show up or not. Don't know what's going on there. The name of this book is Delights and Shadows. And Ted Kooser was the Poet Laureate of the United States from 2004 to 2006. And what that means is, he was the chosen among poets as kind of as notable within the United States. And there are poet laureates at every level of the kind of the art. We have a poet laureate of Arlington, for instance. His name is Stephen Ratner. We have a poet laureate of Massachusetts. I don't know who that person is. I probably should. We have a national poet laureate, and then there's a there is a Nobel laureate as well. Anyway, it's if that means something to you, cool. If it doesn't, that doesn't, whatever. It's notable to me because Ted Kooser is, I just like his story. He started off in insurance as an insurance salesman and actually worked his way up to insurance executive, and all the while writing poetry at night. And I think some of my favorite stories are those who work during the day and write poetry at night, kind of the everyday people. Yeah, so anyway, this particular poem, I'm going to absolutely destroy the technical or biological name of this of the poem. So the poem is, just in short, the poem is named after a moth, and this particular moth is called Lobocraspus grisefusa. I can't believe I just said that without messing it up. I probably did mess it up, but anyway, the common name for this moth is the tear-feeding moth, which is super interesting to me because it literally does just that. It gets some of its nutrition off of the tears of animals. And so Ted Kooser basically took that idea and imagined the moth coming to us at night when we're sleeping and perhaps troubled by something. It reminds me, if you don't mind me saying so, of Queen Mab in Romeo and Juliet. You know, the idea of her coming in and kind of sprinkling dreams, you know, on our noses while we sleep. I like this story a bit better because it's an actual thing. It's an actual moth that does exactly what he says. Of course, he exaggerates it a little bit and includes dreamlike sequences, but it's a great poem. So here it is. Lobocraspus grisefusa by Ted Kooser. This is the tiny moth who lives on tears, who drinks like a deer at the gleaming pool at the edge of the sleeper's eye. The touch of its mouth as light as a cloud's reflection. In your dream, a moonlit figure appears at your bedside and touches your face. He asks if you might share the poor bread of your sorrow. You show him the table. The two of you talk long into the night, but by morning the words are forgotten. You awaken serene in a sunny room, rubbing the dust of his wings from your eyes. So I would like to continue posting these daily until we get back to school and we can get back to doing it in the class. But I really invite anybody and everybody to post their, you know, their favorite poem or poem of the day. I created a document. I'm going to put my poem in there and I'm going to put this video in there. And I encourage you all, you, your parents, your teachers, your grandparents, your family members, to participate as well. So, yeah, I'll see you again tomorrow.